Welcome back to the Lockdown YouTube channel. I'm Sarah Brown and today I'm going to show you how to make a cushion cover with a concealed zip. The reason we're doing this is because a number of people have messaged me and asked what else they can do with the blocks they have made on the Facebook page, and I thought it would be timely to show you what you can do. So if you have a 12.5-inch block here, you can put a border all the way round to bring it up to 18 inches and then just follow the instructions in the following video. So to start making this cushion, we need 2 pieces of fabric, 18 inches by 18 inches for the front, and then on the back we need a piece of fabric which is 18 inches by 20, and then we're going to cut it 6 inches from one end. So we have a gap here, and this is where we're going to put the zip. In addition to that, we're going to have a zip which is slightly longer than 18 inches, and I'm using a brown zip and a cream zipper head, simply so that you can see how well this zip is going to be concealed when we've finished. So we don't need the front piece for the moment, so we'll put that to one side. So what we're going to do, first of all, is put the zip in. And we start by taking the zip and making sure that we have stitched both ends of the zip with a quick line of stitching, just so you can't pull the head of the zip off while you're making this cushion, because that is very annoying. So I'm now going to take the zip and I'm going to turn it so the teeth are right sides down against the right side of the bottom part of the cushion, and I'm going to match the edge of the zip up with the edge of the fabric. And I'm just going to clip this in place, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to zigzag those 2 edges together. I'm neatening the edge, I'm not doing the final stitching of the zip in place. And the purpose of this zigzagging is to hold the zip in the right position so that when you put the top stitching onto it, everything is very much easier. You can see I've now zigzagged along this top edge of the bottom section of the back of the cushion, just to secure the 2 and neaten them. This is not the finished edge, because what we're going to do next is flip this over, and then I'm going to fold the fabric so that it sits tight under those teeth, the bottom edge of the teeth of the zip, all the way along that cushion. And because it's zigzagged in place, it means you don't need to keep pinning it, because once you've got that fold in place, it will just stay put. And then I'm going to change the foot on my sewing machine to the zipper foot, because it means I can stitch a little bit closer. You may have noticed that I'm actually stitching in a cream thread, and that is quite deliberate so that you can actually see what I am doing. This is the zipper foot to go on my Janome sewing machine, and you'll see that it's got a hole in the centre and a slot either side, and you can adjust the setting of your needle so that it actually stitches closer to the fold. So I will adjust it so that when I stitch, the foot will sit there and the needle will be stitching just there. You'll see that I've stitched really close to this folded edge now. So on the back it's neatened and the zip is held in place. The next thing to do is to attach the top half of the cushion back to the other side of the zip. One thing we need to remember is that as you're stitching, you will from time to time need to move the zip head around so that you're not stitching round it. So you stitch up to it, stop stitching, move your zip head back, then carry on stitching, and then you can stitch in straight lines. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go and match these 2 edges up like this, and then I'm going to go and zigzag all along that edge. All I'm doing is neatening at this point. So now I've neatened the other side of the zip, and attached the bottom edge of the top of the back piece. And now we'll find that actually these two pieces and the zip are longer than the 18-inch piece we want for the front. And this is where the clever bit happens. So it doesn't matter which way up you put your fabric for the front. We're just using this as a measuring tool for the moment. But you want to have your back pieces so that they're right sides up, and you're going to match the bottom edges of the front and back, and then you're going to match the top edge of the front and back, and you'll notice there's a bit in the middle, and what we're going to do is just work that down like this, and there it will all settle over the zip like that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pin along that edge, and then we will stitch it in place. You'll see I've pinned the fold, and that now sits below, just fractionally below the edge of the bottom side of the zip. And what we're going to do now is turn this over, and I'm going to stitch the zip, the other side of the zip, in place along this side, and it's going to stitch through the zip right through the front of the fabric, so you'll see when I come back where the stitching is on the front. So I've now stitched the top side of the zip, and I can remove these pins now. And if you look on the back, you'll see you've got one line of stitching here and one line of stitching there, and your zip is perfectly concealed by this flap. So in there we've got a brown zip with a white head, and you can't see it. Before stitching all the way around the cushion, what you need to do is put a couple of lines of security stitching on either end of the flaps to stitch the flap down over the zip. This stops getting a bit of a smile in this flap right on the edge of the cushion once the cushion is completed. So all I do is I just start and I stitch backwards and forwards and backwards, and that's it. Now the next stage is to open the zip, which I've done here, because you need to be able to get into the cushion once you've actually done the outer stitching. So what I'm going to do now is place the front of the cushion, which is 18 by 18, on top, match it all the way around, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around that. Then I will zigzag it to neaten it, and then I'll show you what happens next. I'm now going to show you how to fold these corners, because I know lots of people say chop these off, but if you do, you're making a weak spot on the corner of your cushion. So what I do is I fold it that way first, and then that way, and then if you hold that from the inside as you turn it through, you will find that you end up with a corner of your cushion cover all nicely filled by flat fabric. Now you may need to ease this out just a little bit because there's quite a lot of fabric in there, but now we've got that sitting nice and square, and you've got no lumpy bits there. Here we have the finished cushion cover with the concealed zip. As you can see, the brown zip with the cream zip head does not show, and I'm now going to push the cushion pad in there, and I will show you what the finished article looks like. So here we have the finished cushion, and as you can see, the concealed zip on the back, whoops, a thread, beautifully hidden down there, and no flappy ears on the corner. So now you know how to make a cushion cover with a concealed zip, with a nice easy way of putting it all together. If you've got any queries on this method, please put your questions in the comments box below. Please click on like if you like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more of the forthcoming videos we're making. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.